Cultural differences will always exist. Even within some countries, people from different regions can be shocked by what is considered normal elsewhere. But in the case of Japan, things are even more unbelievable, from children walking to school alone to bizarre rules that the government itself has tried to ban. And that is exactly what you will see here today. So make sure to drop a like, click below to subscribe, and let's go! In Japanese elementary schools, students regularly participate in training sessions to know what to do in case of an earthquake. Every month, children practice how to protect themselves if the ground starts shaking. If a quake happens in the classroom, they crouch down, place their heads under the desk, and hold onto the desk legs until it stops. Afterward, the teacher gathers everyone and leads them out of the building, making sure everyone is safe. When the earthquake strikes while they are in the schoolyard, the procedure is different. The children gather in the center of the yard, away from the buildings. In addition, with assistance from the fire department, students get the chance to experience an earthquake simulation room, allowing them to feel what a real tremor is like. In larger schools, older students also practice how to descend emergency exits in case an earthquake occurs on higher floors. They simulate fires as well, learning how to exit different areas of the school, since a fire can start anywhere. In more advanced grades, students are even trained to use fire extinguishers. After major earthquakes, such as the Great East Japan Earthquake in 2011, with a magnitude of 9.1, which caused a devastating tsunami, and the Fukushima nuclear accident, and the Great Hanshin Earthquake in 1995, with a magnitude of 7.3, which hit the city of Kobe, schools serve as shelters for people left homeless. Often, schools host these individuals for months until the government can provide housing for all. The rule of taking off shoes when entering homes or certain places is a very strong tradition in Japan. It helps keep areas clean, especially when the floor is made of tatami or wood. In schools, children wear a type of indoor shoe called uwabaki, which is used only inside the school to avoid bringing in dirt. Usually white, these shoes are light and easy to slip on and off, making daily life simpler for the kids. Interestingly, this style of shoe has recently become a trend among adult women in Japan. They are drawn to this design for its retro style and, of course, its comfort. But the origin of uwabaki can be traced back to a British shoe called the plimsoll, created in the 18th century. Made of canvas and rubber, it was initially used as a beach shoe. Although uwabaki are a strong symbol of Japanese school culture, they did not actually originate in Japan. Instead, they are an adaptation of a foreign shoe style that was incorporated into school routines and, over time, also became a fashion and practical necessity. Schools in Japan follow a rule of continuous progression, which means students do not repeat a grade level. Throughout elementary school, they automatically move on from one grade to the next, regardless of their performance. This approach is quite different from what happens in many other places, where students might fail and be required to repeat a year. This no-repetition model is also adopted in some other Asian countries, such as South Korea and Singapore. However, this does not mean students have no challenges. When they reach high school, they must take admission exams to decide which school they will attend. Even though they do not repeat in earlier grades, they still need to prepare thoroughly to excel in these exams and secure a spot in high school. The same kind of admission tests also exist for higher education, meaning that when students finish high school, they need to pass an exam to get into college. So, even with continuous progression in elementary school, Japanese students face tougher exams in the next stages of education. From a very young age, Japanese children learn to be independent, which includes activities that may seem surprising in many cultures. For instance, it is normal for small children, starting at around 3 years old, to go to school on their own, or use public transportation such as trains or buses. This is part of the Japanese educational philosophy that believes teaching kids to be independent from an early age makes them more confident and prepared for adulthood. This process begins in a well-planned manner. Children walk to school in small groups and, at first, are supervised by an adult. Parents take turns ensuring everything goes smoothly on the way. In some cases, children also receive guidance on crossing streets, especially in busier areas of the city. The idea is that, over time, they gain enough confidence and skill to travel to school alone or with friends, safely. Another common practice in Japan is having children participate in household activities, like tending gardens or learning to cook. This further develops their independence and sense of responsibility. The concept behind all of this is simple. Kids should be able to handle things on their own, but always with safety ensured by both community and family. This philosophy aims to produce capable adults who are well prepared for the world. The undukai is a tradition that goes far beyond sports competitions. The main rule is that it is not about winning, but about participation and teamwork. Children are not there to be the fastest or the best, but to have fun, interact with friends and family, and of course, celebrate their community. All participants receive small gifts, like notebooks, pens, plastic containers, or soap, so that no one goes home empty-handed. This reinforces the idea that in undukai, everyone is a winner in some way. Beyond emphasizing collective effort, these events also serve as a chance to bring the entire community together. Grandparents, uncles, cousins, and other family members often help organize or attend, creating an environment of unity and reinforcing family ties and neighborhood bonds. Food is also part of the experience, with families preparing delicious bentu, packed meals with rice, fish, breaded chicken, and other traditional dishes. The event starts early in the morning and runs until late afternoon, providing a whole day of fun, interaction, and celebration. The games during undukai usually take place at the schools and are quite diverse. Some classic events include a 50-meter dash for children, a 100-meter dash for speed competitions, and a 3-legged race where 2 people have their legs tied together and need to run without falling over. For mixed groups, there is the wooden clog race, in which teams try to walk as fast as possible without toppling over. The cultural festival, or bunkasai, is a major yearly tradition in Japan, held in schools from preschool through university. During this event, students present the results of their learning, showcasing their artistic skills in various areas. The schools open their doors to the public, allowing visitors to see the students' work and the overall atmosphere. This can include parents, other students, and even those who might be interested in attending that institution in the future. The festival is typically scheduled around the 3rd of November to coincide with Culture Day, a national holiday in Japan. Although that date is fixed, the event often takes place over the weekend and can last 1 or 2 days. Presentations may involve art exhibitions, dance performances, theatrical plays, musical presentations, and more. It is also common to see students gathering in clubs dedicated to dance, theater, or music. It is a chance for the school community to come together and for alumni to revisit their old school. This event also strengthens bonds among students and with the wider community, allowing everyone to feel more connected. The schools offer typical foods, and visitors can enjoy the diverse talents on display. In some stricter Japanese schools, even the choice of underwear for female students is regulated as part of the uniform. Students must wear white underwear, in keeping with the school's dress code. In extreme situations, teachers conduct inspections to ensure this rule is followed. The requirement for white also allows inspectors to verify that the students are practicing proper hygiene. Dirty or stained underwear is forbidden, as such marks are seen as signs of carelessness, both personally and in the image of the school. Fortunately, this practice is not widespread in Japan, being limited to some older and more traditionalist schools. In recent years, the Japanese government has prohibited underwear inspections, yet constant oversight is necessary to make sure this rule is not enforced, especially in rural areas where educational customs tend to be more conservative. One important rule in Japanese schools is that students are not allowed to bring snacks from home. This means that during recess, children are not permitted to eat anything before lunchtime. This rule starts in preschool and continues into elementary school, where by the first year, children are already used to waiting until lunch to eat. The goal of this rule is to create an environment where all students eat together at the same time, fostering equality and togetherness. The school lunch is planned to provide all the necessary nutrients, including rice, protein, vegetables, and sometimes fruit or other items as dessert. This ensures children are well fed without needing extra snacks. This practice also prevents students from being distracted by food before it is time to eat, helping them stay focused on what truly matters during recess. Additionally, it makes lunchtime more social, as everyone shares the meal together. In this way, mealtime becomes not just about nutrition, but also an opportunity for learning and interaction. Students in Japan have a task quite different from what many others are used to. They themselves are responsible for cleaning their schools. Every day for about 15 minutes, they stop whatever they are doing to clean hallways, classrooms, and even bathrooms. This tradition starts in early education and continues through elementary school. The aim is to teach children from a young age about the importance of caring for communal spaces and working together to keep everything clean and organized. However, despite the good intentions, this practice is not always carried out effectively. Often, the students do a quick, superficial job, and in some cases, more challenging areas such as the bathrooms end up very dirty. Furthermore, some question the lack of professional cleaning staff, as they would ensure a more hygienic environment. Over time, this cleaning routine changes in high school. With an increased workload and more activities, it becomes harder for students to maintain this responsibility. As a result, school staff typically take over the cleaning duties at that stage. Rules in Japanese schools can seem quite different for those accustomed to more flexible systems. One of the first things that stands out is that students are not allowed to alter their appearance. That means no makeup, no dyed hair in different colors, no plucked eyebrows, or even painted nails. For girls, bangs must not go beyond eyebrow level. And for boys, beards or mustaches are not allowed at all. They should always be clean-shaven and have short, neat hair. Furthermore, students cannot wear any kind of accessory. No earrings, necklaces, rings, watches, or brightly colored hair clips. The only clips permitted are black, brown, or navy blue. These rules are strictly followed, and when it comes to the uniform, no changes are allowed whatsoever. You cannot shorten the skirt or alter the jacket, for example. Even sock and sweater colors are standardized, with options like black, navy blue, gray, or beige. Another point worth noting is that these appearance rules apply to everyone equally, with no exceptions. The idea is to keep all students looking the same, without anyone standing out for having a different style. Perhaps the most surprising part is that these uniform rules also apply outside school grounds, always ensuring that students represent their school properly. Another peculiar feature of Japanese schools is the use of separate uniforms for summer and winter, something that might seem strange to those who are not used to this distinction. Uniform changes take place on very specific dates, with the 1st of June set for switching to the summer uniform. From that date onward, students are expected to stop wearing their heavier winter clothes and switch to lighter, cooler options. For girls, this means changing from a longer skirt to a shorter version and wearing lighter tops within school guidelines. For boys, it usually involves trading long-sleeved shirts for short-sleeved shirts and wearing lighter pants, adapting to the hotter weather. Then, on the 1st of October, the process is reversed, and students must return to their winter uniforms. Wearing the correct uniform for the season is extremely important and must be followed strictly. This switch is treated quite formally, and the date is set by the school without any possibility of changing it. This practice not only deals with weather adaptation but also reflects the strong emphasis on discipline and uniformity in Japanese schools. Unlike some places where uniform changes are more flexible, in Japan it is viewed as a sign of respect for the institution and for the collective, highlighting the value placed on following rules. One of the most curious things in Japanese schools is the randoseru, a rigid backpack made of leather or synthetic leather that children use from 1st to 6th grade in elementary school. This backpack is a traditional item and, although used for years, is known for being very durable and high quality. The randoseru has a distinctive shape, different from the usual backpacks seen elsewhere, and is designed to withstand daily wear and tear from carrying books and other school materials. The colors are also quite defined. Girls typically choose red, while boys usually go for black. Over time, however, other colors such as pink, navy blue, and brown have become popular, following shifting tastes and styles. Interestingly, despite all these variations, the backpacks usually have no prints or designs, and the look remains simple and understated. What is most striking is that the randoseru is made to last. Its materials can be so robust that it may last for decades, often kept as a memento of one's school years. The mandatory subjects in Japanese schools can be quite different and might even seem strange. One of the main features is the focus on a well-rounded education, aiming to provide balanced learning. At every level, from elementary to high school, there are numerous subjects considered crucial for student development. In primary education, students must study Japanese, math, science, social studies, music, art, physical education, and even moral and ethical education. That means beyond traditional subjects, children also learn to develop strong ethical and behavioral cultural foundations. This focus on moral education is very prominent in Japan, which might surprise some people. By high school, the required subjects still include the same areas as elementary school, but in greater depth, especially in history, geography, and foreign languages, mainly English. Emphasizing the study of other cultures, in addition to learning a foreign language, is a key aspect of the Japanese curriculum. Physical education, arts, and moral education also remain essential, reflecting the country's interest in developing both the mind and body of its students. In addition to the mandatory subjects, Japanese schools offer various electives, especially at the high school level. One example is foreign languages. Although English is compulsory, students can choose to learn other languages, such as French, German, Chinese, or Korean, depending on the school. Other elective subjects include arts, music, and physical education, but with more specialized tracks. For instance, students may focus on classical music or crafts, as well as more practical and creative options. In vocational high schools or technical programs, subjects such as agriculture, industrial studies, and business are available to students interested in a more career-oriented education. There can also be courses like fishing, home economics, or commerce for those who lean toward practical fields. Additionally, some schools offer more traditional and cultural disciplines, such as archery, flower arrangement, and even tea ceremony. These subjects give students the chance to connect with Japanese traditions and learn skills that are an important part of the country's cultural heritage. Technical education in Japan can be pursued right after high school in specialized schools. Prospective students must pass a selection process, and these courses typically last 2 or 3 years. Unlike universities, which focus on more academic and theoretical studies, technical schools prepare students for a specific career path in fields such as healthcare, technology, or design. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.